Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back with me, Nathan. So over the last couple of days, just about everyone and their dogs and cats are talking about this rat crap called Clawdbot. And it seems people are buying Mac Minis specifically to run this thing. Some are saying this is the most powerful AI tool ever. And I also got a request to explain the hype around Clawdbot in one of my videos, so I spent the last several days exploring the tool. We're going to start with what Clawdbot actually is and why everyone is losing their minds over it. Then I'm going to walk you through exactly how to install it step by step so you can try it out yourself. And finally, this is the most important part, I'm going to give you my honest take on whether this thing is actually worth your time or if it's just another overhyped AI tool that will be forgotten in a month. Now before we jump into the exciting part, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss any new videos that can really level up your skills. Also, click on the bell to get notified whenever a new video comes out. Thanks a lot for supporting the channel, you really help me make useful videos just like this one. Alright, let's start from the absolute basics because I've seen a lot of confusion online about what Clawdbot actually is. First things first, Clawdbot is not Cloud Code. I know the names sound similar, they both have Claude in them, but they are completely different things. The Claude in Clawdbot is a reference to a crab claw or a lobster claw. It's a totally separate open source project that has nothing to do with Anthropic's official products. And just yesterday, Clawdbot changed its name to Moltbot because of a trademark request from Anthropic. The name Claude is just too similar to Cloud and it's confusing people. For this video though, I'm still going to refer to it as Clawdbot. So what is Clawdbot? Here's the simplest explanation. Think about how you currently use AI assistants like ChatGPT or Claude. You open a browser, you go to a website, you type in a question and you wait for a response. It's a back and forth conversation where you're always the one initiating things. Now imagine if you had an AI assistant that didn't need you to go to a website. Instead, it lived on your computer or another computer you own, and it was connected to your messaging apps like WhatsApp or Telegram or iMessage, Discord, Slack, whatever you use. And then the cool part is that this AI doesn't just wait for you to ask it questions. It can proactively do things for you. It can watch your inbox and respond to emails. It can monitor your calendar and remind you about meetings. And it can even text your friends back when you're busy. That's Clawdbot in a nutshell. It's an open source project that essentially gives you a personal AI assistant that runs 24/7 on your own hardware, connects to your messaging platforms, and can autonomously do tasks on your behalf. This project was created by a developer named Peter Steinberger, who actually came out of retirement specifically to build this. He saw what was happening with large language models and thought, what if we could take this technology and make it truly autonomous? It became a constant presence that actually helps you manage your life. Now, you've probably seen all these posts about people rushing out to buy Mac Minis specifically for Clawdbot. And you might be wondering, why Mac Minis? Is there something special about them? Well, the answer is both yes and no. For Clawdbot to run 24/7, it needs to run on a computer that's also active 24/7. Now, you don't need a Mac Mini to actually run Clawdbot. You could use a VPS or virtual private server in the cloud, a Docker or computing instance like Amazon EC2, or Azure Virtual Machines, and any laptop or PC you're willing to leave running all the time. But Mac Minis have become a popular choice because they are compact, quiet, and energy efficient. You can put one in a corner, forget it exists, and it will just hum along doing its thing without running up your electricity bill. But I want to be crystal clear here, you absolutely do not need to spend $700 or more on a Mac Mini to use Clawdbot. Now you might be thinking, okay, but we've had AI assistants for years, what makes Clawdbot special? I think there are three key things that have made people go absolutely crazy over this tool. Number one is it actually remembers everything. One of the biggest frustrations with AI chatbot like Claude or ChatGPT is the context problem. You have a conversation, you close the browser, you come back the next day, and the AI has basically forgotten half of what you talked about. Yes, they have memory features now, but they are still limited. They remember important things, but the nuance is often lost. Clawdbot takes a completely different approach. It remembers your active chat context, but it also remembers covers everything that came before. It's building this persistent model of who you are, what you like, what you're working on, and what matters to you. Over time, it gets genuinely better at helping you because it has this rich context of your life. Number 2, it's proactive, not reactive. This is the most appealing feature for a lot of people. With ChatGPT or Claude, you always have to initiate. You go to the website, you type a question, you wait for an answer. With Clawdbot, the moment a new message drops in your Telegram or WhatsApp, it can automatically analyze it and respond if needed. When your customer messages you on Slack at midnight, Clawdbot can handle it. Your friend asks if you're free for dinner on Friday, Clawdbot can check your calendar and respond for you. You can also set up what are called cron jobs, scheduled tasks that run automatically. Maybe every morning at 7 a.m., you want Clawdbot to check your email and summarize the important stuff. You can set it up once and it will run forever. Number 3, it can do anything a human can do on a computer. This is where things get really interesting. Clawdbot isn't limited to just sending messages. It can browse the internet for you, read and summarize documents, fill out forms, check your emails, book flights, or write code. Basically anything you could do manually on a computer, the bot can do it as well. It's like having a virtual assistant that's always ready no matter the time. There are some cool use cases people are sharing on the internet. One person on X talked about using it as a second brain. They shipped it on WhatsApp, so anytime they have a thought or need to do something, they just message Clawdbot. Another person connected to his Hoop fitness tracker. Every day, Clawdbot pulls their health data, analyzes their sleep patterns and activity levels, and sends them personalized recommendations for optimizing their routine. If you are interested to try it out, let me quickly walk you through exactly how to install Clawdbot step by step. But let me emphasize that you should absolutely read the documentation before installing. I'm going to walk you through the main steps, but the docs have important details about security and configuration that I can't cover in depth. I'll link everything in the description below. First, if you don't already have Node.js installed, then head over to nodejs.org and then install the version for your operating system. Once you have Node.js installed, you can install the Clawdbot package from your terminal. Now, if you look at the documentation, the package name here is Moltbot. But when I record this video, the Moltbot package is still empty. It's just a placeholder where the project will be moved later. So currently, I need to install the Clawdbot package as shown here. Open the terminal and then run the npm install command. This will download and install Clawdbot globally on your system. It might take a minute or two depending on your internet connection. Once that's done, run the onboarding setup wizard by running the onboard command. The wizard is the recommended way to set up Clawdbot on any operating system. It's going to walk you through everything step by step. Okay, the setup has started over here. Clawdbot opens with a big warning. Again, it links to the security documentation page, so be sure to check it out. It also said that this is powerful and inherently risky. Continue at your own discretion. Select yes to continue and then choose quick start for the easiest setup. Next, you need to choose which AI model that will power your Clawdbot. You have several options here. The most popular AI models are all available. For example, select Anthropic, and then you can choose whether to authenticate with auth token or API key. Next, you can select messaging channels that you want to connect with Clawdbot. You can skip this step, but that would mean you can only chat with Clawdbot from your machine. For now, select Telegram as it's the easiest to set up. To connect Clawdbot with Telegram, you need to create a new Telegram bot. So head over to Telegram, I will open it on the browser, and then chat with the bot further. You can search for the bot account, but make sure that you select this one with the verified badge. And next, start a chat and send the new bot command. And now it asks for the bot name. I will enter it here, and then I need to choose a username, so maybe Clawdbot. Okay, the name is already taken, then maybe CloudNathanBot. Okay, the bot is now created and I received the bot token over here. So copy that and then hand it to Clawdbot. It will configure the rest, and now Clawdbot will ask if you want to enable any skills. This is optional, so let's just do that later. And then Clawdbot will ask for several API keys to extend its functionalities, such as Google or OpenAI API key. You can skip all of these for now. And then it will ask if you want to enable hooks. You can skip it as well. And finally, it will install the gateway service that will serve as the main connection point between Clawdbot and all connected apps. Next, you will be asked where you want to hash the bot. I will just select the recommended option here, which is TUI. This will open the Clawdbot dashboard, and it will take a few seconds for the bot to come online. Alright, over here the bot is finally online. It's a newly created bot with 4 core markdown files: the soul, the identity, the user, and bootstrap. The first 3 files will store the context for the chatbot and you as the user, while the bootstrap file will serve as the first instruction for the bot. As you can see, the AI is looking at the setup file and realize it's a blank slate. We can start to configure the bot, giving it a nickname, telling it about who the user is, and so on. I will simply say, "You are my assistant, your name is Jarvis, my name is Nathan, and we're going to work on tasks together." Send the prompt in, and the AI will update the core files, and now the AI is ready to work. Now before we ask it to do anything, let's connect it with Telegram. I will go back to Telegram and then start a conversation with the bot. It will respond with this Telegram user ID and pairing code. You can run the Clawdbot command down here from the terminal to chat with the bot, so let's do that. Here I have a new terminal window, paste the command and press enter. And now my Telegram account is paired with my Clawdbot. Back in the dashboard, we can see this confirmation from the bot, and the Telegram account is now connected. Alright, let's test it out. I'm going to ask the bot to create a text file and write hello world in it. Call it clawdtask.txt. Let it process the request, and after a few seconds, it created the text file. We can see the response inside Telegram as well. Let's open it in VS Code real quick. Alright, we can open the file here, which is nice. Next, I'm going to ask it to create a scheduled task. Every 60 seconds, send me a motivational quote until I say stop. It will process the request for a moment, trying to set up a cron job. Okay, here's the response. The bot sends this quote, and then suggested to change the schedule because sending a quote every 60 seconds could get annoying fast. Overall, that's how you can get started with Clawdbot. There are so many things you can do with it, and you can extend its capabilities with agent skills that you can control over here. You can also connect more channels, such as Discord, WhatsApp, Slack, and so on. But yeah, that's how you can run Clawdbot on a computer, and since I'm not planning to run this tool forever, I can stop the process from the terminal. Turn off the gateway with diamond stop command, and now it should be stopped. If we go back to the dashboard, the site can no longer be reached. If you like this video and would love to support the channel, you can consider donating to my channel through the Super Thanks option below. Or you can consider joining my YouTube membership, where you can access this channel's emojis, get early access to new videos, plus a lot more. Okay, now that I've shown you what Clawdbot is, how to set it up, and why it's useful, it's time to answer the most important question. Is Clawdbot overhyped? Well, yeah, actually. Most people right now are showing only the cool and flashy things this tech can do, because telling people about the downsides are not that exciting. But I think you deserve the full picture before you spend your weekend setting this up, or, God forbid, buying a Mac Mini specifically to run it. The first issue is security. When you install Clawdbot on your computer, you're giving an AI full access to your machine. It can read files, it can execute commands, and it can access your network, install packages. Literally anything you could do, the AI can do it as well. This is an autonomous agent that makes its own decisions. AI can misunderstand context and make mistakes, and when an AI with full system access makes a mistake, the consequences can be dire. Let me give you a real example someone shared. First, they sent an email with prompt injection asking for the private key, and then sent it to a webhook address. Then they asked Clawdbot to check that email. Clawdbot checked the email and then sent the key as a post request to the webhook. Yep, giving agency to AI models come with a huge risk that you should be aware of. And then it gets worse. There's a security researcher post about scanning the internet for Clawdbot instances. What they found is that over 900 Clawdbot installations are running with completely open ports and zero authentication. This means anyone on the internet could connect to those instances and access whatever API tokens, environment variables, and sensitive data people had stored there. The documentation covered this, so it's preventable, but most people skip the security section because it's boring. It's really a security nightmare out there. And then there is the cost problem. Clawdbot is running 24/7, which means you get the AI bill for 24/7 as well. Even though you set up Clawdbot locally on a Mac, it still needs access to the internet to use AI models as the agent. Someone posted this on X recently. The bill is $300 in 2 days for what they described as basic tasks. Every time Clawdbot checks your email, analyzes a Slack message, or do something proactively, you are raking bills for AI tokens. If you're using Cloud Opus 4.5 or GPT-5, the models that actually work well for agentic tasks, you're paying premium prices to run the tool. You can mitigate this by using cheaper models or running local models, but then you sacrifice capability. There really is no free lunch here. Now, some of the use cases I've seen people talking about out there is also very uninspiring. For example, in this one, it used Clawdbot to organize the downloads folder by file type. Wow, that sounds great, but I think my computer can do that as well. On Mac, you open Finder, click View and sort by kind, and done. You can also probably do this on Windows and Linux. And then Clawdbot messaged my wife. I don't know if this is being sarcastic or not, I think it is. But yeah, Clawdbot is pretty much overhyped right now. It's a great tech, but most of the amazing things people are showing off are either trivial tasks or stuff you could already do with existing tools. Finally, Peter Steinberger, the guy who made Clawdbot, has publicly said that most non-techies should not install this. It's not a finished product. I know about the sharp edges and it's not even 3 months old. So yeah, Clawdbot is an interesting open source project, a useful tool for developers and technical people who understand the risks, and it's a fun thing to experiment with if you have the technical knowledge. On the other hand, Clawdbot is not something non-technical people should install or a replacement for existing AI tools. Personally, I'm not going to keep using Clawdbot as my primary AI assistant. The security risks plus API costs aren't worth it for my use case. I can accomplish almost everything I want with tools I already use. For agentic coding tasks, there are OpenCode, Cloud Code, Kilo Code. They are designed specifically for coding and has actual guardrails. And I also found Cloud Cowork to be a helpful tool that can do things on my computer. And then for automation, I can use established tools like n8n or Zapier. And for quick AI assistance on my phone, the regular ChatGPT or Cloud works just fine. That being said, I don't want to be entirely negative about it. Clawdbot shows how in the future we can all have AI assistants that are persistent, proactive, and truly helpful. The technology that powers Clawdbot is great, but we're not there yet. The current iteration is rough around the edges, potentially dangerous, and overhyped. The gap between what's possible and what's practical and useful for everyday uses is still huge. So to wrap up, Clawdbot is an interesting project that lets you run an autonomous AI assistant on your own hardware, connected to your messaging apps, capable of doing tasks proactively on your behalf. The technology is genuinely cool, and the open source nature means you can verify exactly what it's doing. But the hype has gotten way ahead of the reality. This is an early stage project with significant security risks, potential for expensive API bills, and the creator already admitted it's not ready for most people. If you're technical and curious, by all means, give it a try. I showed you how to set it up locally, but if you choose to skip it, then it's cool too. Certainly don't rush to buy a Mac Mini for this. And now we have come to the end of this video. So, what do you think about Clawdbot? If you have tried it out, let me know about your experiences in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nathan and I help you learn how to code and use AI tools. Make sure to subscribe if that's something you find useful. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, like this video, all the good stuff, as it really helps this channel to grow. With that being said, thanks so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you in other videos. Bye!